If you struggle with confidence, then I urge you to hear what I have to say about leaving narcissists and how that strongly contributes to your true self confidence. You see, being around people who treat you like you're less worth, that has a very big problem attached to it because it means that your self worth is low. If your self worth was high, you would never accept such behavior into your life. But you're doing it simply because your caretakers didn't know how to raise you, because they were themselves victims of generational trauma. So the solution here to rapidly increase your self-confidence is to start cutting contact with the narcissists in your life. Start with the worst one and work your way out. That was what I did. I started with one of my closest friends who went into a rage attack on me online on a chat, that is, because he probably wouldn't be able to do that in real life in fear of consequence. But he did. He went at me and accused me for a whole range of things that he had done wrong in our business relationship. And so that is typical narcissistic projection. But I was at the point where I just couldn't take it. I had to make a decision. Should I try to soothe him? Should I try to please him? Should I try to find a solution? Should I just let it slip and see if we found out of it together later? No. I was sick. I was done. I had learned a few things about narcissism. I had read up on narcissism a few weeks before this behavior happened. And I had come to realize that he was very high up on the narcissism scale. He basically ticked all of the boxes, every single one, almost. So I slowly just started pulling away. I made sure the ending of our business relationship went smoothly by being ice cold and just straightforward about what remaining tasks we had. But at every apology, at every attempt to draw me back into his life, I didn't respond to it at all. And that taught me something very important. It taught me that I was now defined for myself as a person who didn't accept such behavior from people. And that instantly raised my self confidence. It gave me more self value. I started very quickly realizing that I am worthy of much better people in my life than that, people who treat me better. And so new people came into my life who treated me better simply because I had taught myself that I don't have time for certain types of behavior. When you start kicking narcissists out of your life and you see that you're being rewarded for it, then it gives you a lot of freedom because it proves to you that the world isn't inherently evil. It proves to you that if you make decisions where you put up healthy boundaries for yourself, you get a healthy life in return. So as I progressed into this and started analyzing the patterns of more people in my life, I also started realizing I had some more people I needed to cut contact with. And for every single one, my happiness, my creativity, my ambition for life, my life force was coming back. And looking back at these relationships, I realize now how much they held me down, how much they drained my energy. And, today, almost 10 years later, I'm a completely new person. I'm free. I'm finally free because I kicked them all. And later in my life, I would also be presented with chances to cut contact with toxic family members. That was much tougher because these people was the same people who conditioned me as a child to accept the very behavior that had damaged me mentally later in life. By saying goodbye to these people as the chances came, I became completely free. And after that, my boundaries have gone through the roof. And, it's ultimately just about not accepting the things you know are wrong. That's the simple rule. And that's the paradox and the brutality of it. That when you're trapped in a social circle full of narcissists, you don't even find yourself able to trust that inner voice that says, get away from them. Because ultimately, you're so scared of loneliness, of rejection, of kicking all the bad people and just being left alone outside of society as a recluse. But that's not what happens. You kick all the narcissists and you gain your power back because you have so much energy. You have creative energy to do whatever you want. And that's how you attract good people into your life. That's how you get started with a business. And that's how you set yourself free.